All right, let's talk about your forecast. Temperatures as we kick off the day. Again, temperatures are in the 40s, 46 in Fort Payne, 49 in Dalton. Good morning in Blue Ridge. You're at 49, 47 in Murphy, 50 in Dayton and Athens, and 51 degrees currently Calhoun, Lafayette, and Altamont. As we go throughout this morning, again, you're going to notice much warmer conditions out there. Part of that is because we do have clouds kind of mixed in across the area, but also we have, again, that southwesterly wind kicking in, and that's continuing to usher in the warmer weather. I think we'll see a little bit more sunshine as we progress through the midday and early afternoon hours as temperatures go from the lower 50s into the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees by the time we get towards this afternoon. So, yeah, we go from 30s to the 80s just like that here in the Tennessee Valley. Now, let me show you the current weather map. We've got this front kind of hanging out across the area, scattered clouds with it, but overall, we're looking at quiet conditions. We've got a few more scattered clouds to our south with that flow around high pressure kicking in. That's bringing in that return flow. So you also see the warmer air building up, and that's what's going to be continuing to stream our way ahead of that front whenever we're not dealing with all those scattered clouds out there. Now, one thing we're going to be watching is down here in the Gulf of Mexico because things are becoming a little more active down here, especially as we look down towards the Bay of Campeche here. So we've got an area of low pressure trying to get going down here towards the south. It's one of two areas of low pressure we're going to be tracking as we go throughout the upcoming week here that could potentially bring us some better rain chances. So let's talk about that as we go throughout this week. Again, we're going to stay dry as we go throughout your Tuesday, but notice Wednesday and the Thursday, we've got some low-end rain chances, only at about 20%. I'm going to show you the areas who have the best chance of seeing an isolated shower coming up here in just a moment. And then I think a little better chance of rainfall area-wide as we go into Friday night, and that's what that big front, the next big front that moves through the area. So let's track the weather pattern here as we get the flow flattening out here in the coming days. That's that zonal flow. That means warmer conditions. And then as it shifts out of the south and west, that ushers in more moisture, first in the upper levels in the form of cloud cover, and then at the surface in the form of a chance of rain. That's ahead of our next cold front that moves in by the time we get towards this weekend, and that will bring us our next surge of below average temperatures and likely well below average temperatures. So your temperature trend over the next 7 days, again, will be in the mid 70s, giving way to temperatures really in the upper 70s to right around 80 through Friday. And then that cold front moves through. And then behind that, we drop things off and it becomes well below average again. In fact, even cooler potentially than the last cool surge that moved through this past weekend as we get into the beginning of next week. Highs barely making it into the 60s. Keep in mind, we should be closer to 80 this time of the year, so that will be well below average. Now, let's go back to those rain chances here because I do want to focus on that. Again, as we go throughout today, not much of a rain chance anywhere, but as we go into your Wednesday, you're going to notice those clouds giving way to the potential of some light rain, scattered showers possibly for areas south of the city, south of the Tennessee border. So as you get over towards northwest Georgia, particularly Dalton, Calhoun, and then heading over into the Blue Ridge, again, we can see an isolated shower. We'll be on the northern edge of this area of low pressure, that first one that will move by to our south, and that will extend into your Thursday, again, mainly south of the Tennessee border, a chance of an isolated shower too. But again, those chances aren't high, but I did want to mention that. Then notice the widespread clouds fill in across the area as we head into Thursday. That's with that next system in that second area of low pressure. So here's a wider view of that first system. Notice the heaviest of the rainfall stays from about Birmingham to Atlanta and points south and east. And overall, we just get some clouds, maybe an isolated shower. But that second area of low pressure may move a little farther north and help to give a little moisture to a front moving our way. And that could give us a little better chance area-wide of some rainfall Friday heading into Friday night. Now, the numbers are not looking great in terms of a lot of heavy rainfall because of the tracks of those low pressures, but maybe a tenth of a quarter of an inch on average across the area, with some isolated areas maybe seeing a little over a quarter of an inch. But I think about a quarter of an inch or less is probably going to be likely. But the bigger story will likely be just like the last system that moved through, the big surge of much cooler air, well below average. Temperatures expected to settle in across the southern half of the country as we head into next weekend and most of next week. So again, yeah, we're near 80 degrees today, a little above average for the next couple of days. But after those rain chances come through the area, we're talking about temperatures going the opposite direction once again. So looks like this kind of back and forth thing is kind of here to stay in the pattern for a while.
Well, let me ask a question about that.
Sure.
This back and forth thing. We're gonna go back.
Okay.
To 62, right?
Yeah, 62. Yeah.
Sure, we're not coming forth again to the 80s.
Well, it tends to be that way sometimes around here, because you have those.
I want fall.
You want what
You
fall
want
is
fall?
here? I see fall in that 7-day forecast. Yeah, it's in there. Fall and summer. Some
Cedric's
people
like,
want-
what else do you want?
Yes, what else? Thank you, Michelle. You cannot
How much
please.
how much time do you have?
Well,
I got a list.
yeah,
All right.
well, that's true. That's true. He does actually.
Thanks, Cedric.